guess what's up? I'm Cameron with my friend Mason here, and we've been watching a lot of different podcasts lately, like the Oxcast Yogpod Triforce and things like that. And we decided, hey, we'd try luck making our own. We have some good conversations. So you don't have to watch this or anything. I'm gonna put some gameplay in the background if you wanna sit around and watch that. But you could just play it in the background while you're running or playing video games or doing your work or whatever. So. It's not going to be anything too formal. We're just going to kind of have a conversation with each other and talk, and you can listen to it. All right.
My first question is, and this was actually inspired by game theory and film theory.
Okay.
He did a video about how media forms like the TV and I guess Hollywood is trying to bring down like PewDiePie and other famous YouTubers.
So like traditional mediaverse.
Yeah.
YouTube.
It's like basically what ran teenagers 5 years ago only,
Yeah.
10 years ago really for teens. They spent all the time on that by putting out all these articles and embarrassing him in like minor ways. Some of his award ceremonies and stuff. And so the question is like YouTube overcoming the TV media form? Because when there's some surveys done, like he had done all this research and surveys shown that teens spent like 5 to 10 hours a week on TV, and on YouTube they spent 40, 50 hours a week on YouTube. And I know I account for that too. Like probably more so. I watch probably an hour of TV a week, I think.
Yeah. I mean, not including like Netflix or streaming, which is technically the internet. Like cable TV, I probably watch like an hour a week, maybe. And that's just like if it's on when I'm watching dinner or something, or when I'm eating dinner.
Yeah, I remember at the last camp I was at, we had like a big discussion discussing all of our favorite movies and TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
And probably 50% of the people there didn't even own like TVs or hadn't in the past like 3 or 4 years because they never used them.
Yeah, but like that's the big thing right now, like cutting the cord.
But all of them had favorite TV shows that were like within the past 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Like everyone knew of Breaking Bad and Lost is the old one, or
like
The Walking Dead. Yeah, like it's kind of crazy because for advertisements, people have to pay thousands of dollars to get advertisements on TV.
I mean, like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What was it, like $60 million for like
not 60
30
million.
seconds?
Not 60
right?
million.
6 million?
6 million. It was a couple million, but a ton. And then
not
like
60.
that's why YouTubers are getting sponsored by everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because the investment is so little. That's why people for tech channels will just send out all of their tech stuff to them.
Yeah, because a $600 graphics card or $1,000 Mac
gets viewed
a
million times.
300,000 maybe, even 300,000. That's
or even on 30.
Better than a billboard, which costs $12,000. You know what I mean? Like
that or a spot and
a 30-second commercial was $4.5 million.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous. Like I definitely say like with like you control a society by controlling its youth almost, and like I could tell anyone I know younger than like 14, like they know, like I used to grow up based on like Disney shows and stuff like that, Nick, and like that was my like
cartoon
upbringing. Yeah, like kids these days, YouTube is like that. Like PewDiePie is their SpongeBob, or like all these weird yelling YouTubers and stuff like that. That's supposed to be this crazy stuff. If you stop and think about it, that's kind of like what we watched as kids, but in TV form instead of YouTube. And it's really taken over like the entire youth and generation. I mean, I know myself, I watch a ridiculous amount of YouTube. And I sometimes legitimately will buy stuff based on placement, like Linus Tech Tips. It's often sponsored by TunnelBear, a VPN. I ended up buying that VPN with their sponsor code, and they have an Amazon affiliate thing. I use that. It's such a strong platform, and traditional media doesn't like that because the government, or not even a big conspiracy thing like that, but it's harder to make a YouTuber sell out than like a TV corporation, because PewDiePie is just Felix. He's just a guy.
Well, yeah, also think about it. Probably, and it's explained through all big YouTubers. They do 1 or 2 of those videos of how did I get to here, or the milestone appreciation, like when I started, or like what does it take to own your own business at 18 years old. Like that's always one of the big tabs, like almost clickbait, but it's hey, I'm interested in seeing that. Is they always say, well, just do it for fun. I started out doing it for fun and didn't see it going anywhere. How are you going to stop someone who would do it for fun even if they didn't have the crowd?
Exactly.
They don't have the audience. And also I think a big thing about it is the ease of access. Like when you're watching your favorite TV show, unless you pay for DVR and you continue and you keep up with your storage space on your TV, and you set all the things to record and you delete them and stuff on YouTube. Like you can find anything you want in seconds. If you get tired of a video, you just click on to the next one. You don't have to wait until Tuesday night at 8:30. Here comes 1 hour's worth of The Walking Dead.
Exactly.
Instead, I mean, like on Netflix, my goodness, I could not go through Lost without Netflix.
Yeah. Some of that is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no spoilers, but some of the episodes and season endings are just ridiculous. Like, just recently finishing season 5, thinking about possibly having to wait longer than 5 minutes to watch that would wreck me. Like, I'd hate to be watching Lost when it first came out. Like, that is ridiculous. I salute those people.
Yeah. And it's not the same experience because...
It isn't, yeah.
I tried to do that with The Walking Dead, and part of it is due to I just didn't enjoy The Walking Dead as much as I have Lost in some other TV shows like The Office, all typical ones. I stopped watching The Walking Dead because you miss an episode, and it's just like you're behind, and it's hard to catch back up to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for about a year, I religiously watched The Blacklist every time it came out, like on live TV. But... and I would gladly sit down and watch like 10 episodes at a time. Like that would be awesome. But, in a way, it makes it more enjoyable. It's kind of like if you had to wait a week for an episode of Lost, you would be so excited. And, I have, 5 hours of enjoyment, right, from watching them real fast. 5 hours, it could be spread out about like a month. It could make your week. Like you come home from a crappy day. It's alright, Lost is on tonight. I get to find out what happened to Sawyer or whatever, you know what I mean?
Get 10 people all together and you all come and watch it. Yeah, it's different. It's like, do you want a little bit of great stuff or do you want a ton of just,
Yeah, like like I was saying the other night, our society's very, very much instant gratification,
Consumer culture.
Texting, 1 second you're saying something, the next second they get it. It's like when a page takes longer than 2 or 3 seconds to load, oh, this website sucks, I'm gonna find a different link. It's just, we're all about convenience and instant gratification. I mean, I know people who hate phone calls because you can you can't just and people, there's jokes about it and stuff, it's like, oh, I hate people, I hate going outside, I'm so antisocial, like the Tumblr crowd or whatever. But it's true. I mean, we are forming like an antisocial generation, I guess is the word. You know what I mean? Like, that just don't want to do anything other than that, and they don't want to see faces because they're not ready for it, Like, if you're not forced to talk to people and you can just hide behind a screen and type, why do anything else?
And also, I heard something, I read something on the internet saying how there's some science studies of, like, the big way that people get sort of, like, their weekly or daily fix on feeling, productive or contributing to society or bettering themselves or their work ethic, like, etc., is through, like, movies and, let's say, maybe YouTube views as part of that. Because when you see someone do something, there's, like, this hormone that goes off that makes you feel as if you've almost completed it yourself, like you've partaken in the journey. And it's not too hard to believe because, when you, like, share an environment of happy, smiling, laughing people, you usually are pretty joyful. It's hard to have a frown when everyone else is cracking jokes.
And the stakes are so high now. Like, every Avengers movie.
Yep, I knew it was going to lead to that.
The entire universe is at stake. Yeah. This one battle, you finish it, you're like, oh, man.
And old films like 30 years ago, it was a duel, one-on-one, and then
like
the town is in trouble. Then all of New York City, then the world, then multiple worlds. It's the whole universe.
The universe, existence as itself.
And now it's turned to, like, not just, Spider-Man's got 2 or 3 powers. Instead, it's, this guy, like Lucy, they pretty much become God. And the new Marvel movie, the dude has to save the world by traveling through dimensions or something,
Yeah, it's the
it can't top itself
scale of it, and that's the problem. And it's they're forced to. I was reading the thing about the Avengers, the 2 new Avengers movies coming out, Infinity War Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Together have a combined budget of $1 billion.
Because it's 99% animation.
Yeah, but it's because the reviews on the new X-Men,
Yeah.
Everyone was like, it's so hard because you have to top what happened before. These directors come in thinking, holy crap.
The long movies?
Yeah, I just made the best movie I've ever made. now I got to make one a bunch better.
Yeah.
And what happened is it had too many characters, not enough, going on. It was just like explanation, then introduction, then some story, bam, movie. And it's just an indirect consequence of something like that, trying to top yourself.
It's interesting because the same company's doing it to yourself,
Yeah, it's very much self-inflicted.
It reminds me of, I feel like the companies behind that, like Marvel and what's the other ones? They kind of run the big superhero.
DC? No, not really. Marvel pretty much it for superheroes right
pretty much
now.
bought rights to everything. And I guess like Disney and Pixar, they own the animation field, but I feel like Pixar and Disney do a really good job in not peeking out, not trying to outdo itself, because they make almost the same film
I was
every time.
reading this. It was a big thing on Disney. They release, I think it's 3 sequels for every new IP that they do. So like this year, right, they made Finding Dory, Finding Dory, some other stuff like that. And then they're also releasing that Mona movie. Do you know what that is? It's like the Hawaiian girl or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. So then they're releasing a new one. Oh. And then stuff like that. Like they release, because they want to keep this series going, but they don't want to not innovate. There's a fine line.
Yeah. And I was going to say something like, one way, video games do the same exact thing. Infinity Ward, what they've done with the Modern Warfares, in my opinion, of course, people vary in this. Some people like Ghost, and some people into Modern Warfare 2, some people Black Ops 2. But for me, like the games I got started on was Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly Modern Warfare 3. I would say Black Ops 2 is the peaking point of how far in the future you can go with still keeping an audience, because it has to be close enough in the future that it's relatable. There's still aspects of life that they're relatable.
Well, it's not as much the time, it's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not that far in the future, I don't think, in either of them. In Black Ops, it's 2052, something like that. Like 30 years from now? 30 years, a little bit more than 30 years from now? 40 years from now? It just has to do with what they do.
Yeah.
Like if they make it in space fighting with like super laser guns and grenades that float people up in the air, and it just gets ridiculous. And some games do that well. There are some games that are set in the future, like way far in the future, but they work. I mean, like for example, Overwatch, pretty futuristic, I'd say.
Yeah.
Pretty much all lasers. Every character is basically a cyborg or a robot, but they don't have it like ridiculous.
But also they embrace that. They know that is their category game. That's why they make every aspect of the game futuristic. They're not still trying to hold on to a 2015 character, if you know what I mean. And so that's why everyone has been pleading for the take it back to World War II,
Just
World War
boots
I.
on the ground fighting. That's all we want.
That's all we want. I just want to play some tanks and M1 Grand, and that's Battlefield 1.
That's Battlefield 1 right there.
That's the difference in the dislike ratio.
Jeez, that is crazy. What is it now? I'm gonna look up the live count actually right now. On the release trailer, it's like let's see.
While you're doing that, we talked a good bit on this topic, so I'm bringing another one. This is a personal issue for me because on the servers that I'm trying to play Minecraft Hunger Games on, people can abuse the game in-game purchases. So I was going to ask you your opinion on, DLC purchases, because it's another problem.
Microtransactions?
Yeah, microtransactions.
With iPhone games?
Well, I would say more so video games.
Video games?
Video games such as, Infinity Ward, because remember, Battlefront. Did you ever buy Battlefront?
Which one? The new one?
Yeah,
Battlefront.
No. You didn't? Okay, well, Battlefront originally came out with a couple guns, really no customization. Like, the biggest aspect of their customization was the different, there's a huge list of faces and about 4 guns, 6 guns you can unlock. That was about it. They didn't have any sights you could add to guns. There was really nothing. And there was 4 maps. Well, then they started releasing out some free DLC, which kind of made up for because of all the complaints. You could get double or triple the amount of stuff you got initially on the $60 game for, the $10, $20 purchases. It's just a huge money-making scheme. And, a $60 game like Battlefront compared to a $60 game like Fallout 4 or GTA 5, where I think GTA 5 cost $165 million to make. I mean, that just seems crazy. And also, remember
with Battlefront, I mean, I've played it a little bit, but it's very similar to Battlefield, right? The engine?
Yeah.
It plays a lot like Battlefield. So it's not like they built an engine from the ground up. It just doesn't seem like there's much into it.
A kid's version, a non-interactive version.
A reskin of Battlefield with some lasers and flying, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like
Nothing
to me.
is very in-depth. And also, back to Advanced Warfare Call of Duty. remember when they advertised the Exo Zombies? How zombies would only be available to the season pass buyers?
That season pass crap is getting really annoying to me.
Just, or pre-order and get a camo on RPG exclusive.
Okay, with Black Ops 3, they said with Derice, however you want to say it. It was in Black Ops 1 and 2, right? With Black Ops 3, it came out for season pass owners, but they said get it early with season pass because it will be for sale later. I don't think it's even for sale yet. I don't think you can buy it separately. Derice itself, I think you have to still buy the season pass to get it. Probably once they release DLC 4, then you can buy it. You know, when the next Call of Duties come out. I mean, this new one is bad. Black Ops 3, I think. The way they're, like, just milking it with the supply drops. You know how those work, right? Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, like, a box, you know, and you buy keys, and you open it. And you can get camos, or you can get guns. So, at first they just had camos. And not many people bought the drops, right? So, they started adding game-changing stuff, like reskinned melee weapons are cool, like the swords. Have you seen the swords and stuff?
Oh, yeah, a little
The
bit.
swords, the NX Shadow Claw, the ballistic knife shooter, all this stuff. And then their sales of crypto keys went through the roof. So now every DLC they add like 5 guns, and the drop rates, I think it's like a guy on Reddit did all the calculations. It's like 4% to get a legendary, 2% chance of that legendary being a gun or any kind of special thing, and then like 1% that's going to be the gun that you want.
Wow, so there's no
So
reward.
it is like, there is like no chance. Like the drop rate is totally screwed.
Wow.
And people are just throwing money at it. It almost makes me angry. And it's stuff that actually changes it. Like in Overwatch, you can buy loot boxes to get skins, but they're just cosmetic. That's all they are. I mean, this literally changes the game, and there's people that talk about like they get this stuff and then people will kill them and pick up their gun and like camp in the corner just so they can use it because it's the special gun or whatever, you know what I mean?
But another problem with it is, I personally, I can never see myself paying $1.50 for some custom camo or a skin or something like that, because I'm not invested in too many games. But what makes it even worse is the next game is coming out in about 6 months, 9 months after the one release date.
Yeah.
You know, like they come out every November,
It's every November.
every November. Like let's say you get it 2 months after it comes out, and you stop playing it because you just get tired of it in about 4 or 5 months. You used the game for 4 or 5 months and you spent $85 on it because you wanted to buy some random DLC, and you go buy the next one. And with the new Infinite Warfare, they finally did something I like, where they brought back, I think, World at War.
A remaster.
The remastered.
But you can only get it.
You can only get it if you pre-order the whole thing.
The special edition. It's
Yeah.
$80.
Like, can I please pay? I don't care if I had to pay $40 for the thing individually.
I know a bunch of people who, like on Reddit, they were commenting. People who are buying the Infinite Warfare Special Edition for Modern Warfare Remastered is like when SpongeBob and Patrick bought the giant TV for the box.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Seriously.
mean? Like you're buying this nice shiny new thing just for this remaster.
And none of it's innocent because
edition.
they know people love the stuff that they've already made before and not the new stuff.
Yeah, I know of quite a few people that are buying it just for that. I mean, I hope they put that up for sale on its own later, because Modern Warfare was such a good game. And that was a really good game. Speaking of games, there's some really nice new games coming out soon. Like Battlefield 1, No Man's Sky. I'm really pumped for that.
Mm-hmm.
Except there is some, not criticism, but some drama going on with that. Do you know about that?
No. There's a lot of drama with Overwatch, though.
Some company...
Before Overwatch came out?
Yeah, there was.
There's a ton.
But some company is claiming the super code or master code or whatever that does the like world generation. This company owns it, but they haven't even released the code, like the actual code or anything. So they're just thinking or speculating like it does this, so it must be ours, and like it may be theirs. Like No Man's Sky might have actually copied it. Also, that was supposed to be released June 21st. Now it's pushed back to August 21st. Like, I was really pumped to play that this summer, but now I can't. Stuff like that.
Yeah. That reminds me of Mark Zuckerberg's situation with the twins. Do you know anything about his situation?
No.
Well, when he was over at Harvard, apparently, I can't think of their name. I'll look it up because it's bothering me, but basically, some other guys at Harvard had invited Mark Zuckerberg in because of his programming skills and some of the ideas he had already had through FaceMash and some other things he had made, to help him with a Harvard Connect, basically a Facebook, but really small, like a low-level Facebook only for Harvard. And apparently there's some drama between it where they claim that it was
like their idea or something.
Ideal thievery, theft, like an idea theft.
Intellectual property.
Yeah, intellectual property. Yeah, that's exactly it. So they end up getting a ton of money out of him later. Now he's net worth of $51 billion.
Whatever it is, yeah, that's ridiculous.
I guess whatever works. But they haven't even released any. The person's not even a part of a company or anything.
Oh yeah. So they just ended up getting it. It's kind of funny, actually. What else? I played a lot of Doom lately. I bought that during the summer sale. That's really fun. Really gory, bloody, but it's fun. What are your other topics? Do you have any other ones?
Yeah, I have plenty of topics. Another one.
Fantastic.
Right now, if you go to any college and you ask what is the most pursued degree or what's the safest bet, every single time it's just a business degree. And you say, what are you going to go for?
Business or marketing.
That's sort of been my cop-out answer. Like, I know I'll enjoy business degree, and if I do business, I'll do well in that, and that's sort of my natural talent. But a business degree is huge. Like, that means anything. That means anything from being the sales guy to...
Business degree doesn't it? It's like,
You know what I mean? Like, you can get into anything doing that. So my question is, this is sort of my theory, will the tech guys, behind every company, will they become the new business degree? Because think about how, like, all the trends of our culture, how they're leaning towards technology.
I mean, everything's about tech
So
now.
what happens when, like, you become really dependent on the guys who know how to actually make and program tech? Like, experimenting with, like, terminal on Mac and...
IT guys are getting very needed, required, like, sought after. Like a good IT guy that can keep all your processors and systems running all the time is something that's very sought after by companies. Used to, all you had to run was some Ethernet through the wall for internet, basic internet, stuff like that, but then you had a server room and everything. Now you have literally everything to do with the internet. I can't think of a single thing you would do that doesn't involve the internet. And cloud stuff now, that's like the big new business storage, is these cloud systems. It's just ridiculous how much it is so dependent on the internet. Like, if it just stopped working one day, the world would completely fall apart.
Yeah, EMP would definitely be the biggest world war.
Yeah.
Even down now, people have light bulbs that can connect to Wi-Fi and to Siri and to
smart home stuff. Yeah,
smart home stuff.
That's ridiculous, And a lot of businesses are internet based. Like social media, the business is the internet. It's not like a signage company or something that uses the internet. It's the company is the internet.
I've got a couple friends, actually, Emily specifically. One thing that she's going to be doing, and she might have talked to you about this, is like so many small companies, whether it be like coffee shop and stuff. I know plenty of coffee shops who my friends run their Instagrams, because advertising is all on social media. That's how you get all the young audiences, through Instagram. Facebook is the old people audience, I guess, but there has to be something like that. And that's why now all these entrepreneurs are just running some kind of production or video or recording sort of job, sort of like what Jennings did for our school. That's exactly what people are doing now, because everyone has to have a website, everyone has to have promotional video. And that's why I think, like, that's why I'm super glad I got all the Adobe stuff, all the access to that, because even if there's not that much I can do for it, if anyone comes across me who needs it, I could easily, just learn it, watch some tutorials, videos, and I make myself an asset.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I've got a huge, priceless tool on my computer now.
Yeah, like, funnily enough, my dad and I do a lot of stuff like that. Like, he works with making, like, nice mobile sites and scaling sites, so they look good on a big screen, they look good on a small screen, stuff. So we'll actually go out and look for local businesses with crappy websites, go ask them if they'd like a website ever, and sell it to them, and, get a monthly upkeep, stuff like that. So you look for the people who need it, and then you sell it to them. I myself, even though I have a big beastly computer, I probably do not the majority, but a lot of my browsing on my phone, like internet browsing. And when I come across a site that doesn't work on mobile, I don't mess with it. I just leave. It's a necessity now these days.
Yeah, and it's kind of overlooked. Like, it wasn't until right now we're making our first podcast, for instance.
Yeah.
Like, what has it taken us, like, a couple of days of actually motivating ourselves to actually want to do it.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know?
I've already had the mic from other stuff, you know.
Yeah.
You've got a laptop from doing this stuff.
We have the program. It still took us an hour and a half to get set up because
Yeah.
of trying to get the right sound for it. And it's probably, sounds probably needs still like a ton of tweaking to
Yeah, I
make
mean,
it better.
you can
but-
get it 100 times better. Get a pop filter, get a ceiling mount or whatever, you know, a boom mic,
Yeah.
boom mount.
And I've got a friend who owns one of his businesses, and he was telling me one of the favorite things is you never grow old of like the toys you can get because there's
Yeah.
always something better out there.
Oh, wait, until you get the red.
Yeah.
I think I showed you.
The
Freaking
$80,000
$500 handle.
$80,000 4K. Well, no, I think probably shoots more than
6K.
4K.
It's 6K or 8K maybe.
8K that only the government can run.
Yeah, it's like 60 grand. The
It's like
body
a
itself
gig-
is
a gig every
$40,000, but you can't do anything with the body. I don't know. That stuff's ridiculous. And you think those people who are buying those cameras aren't using like Zeiss lenses? You know, like $20,000-$30,000 lenses. Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, and then you think you'd like drop it. Or think, oh, it's just like, well, I'm not gonna be able to pay my mortgage this month.
Yeah. Like I've even got like the Phantom, the nicest, the Vision Plus Phantom 2
Yeah.
drone, so the nicest of the Phantom 2s, and I'm working on that to fix it up, and I still can't imagine messing up that, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm so careful about that. I can imagine the Phantom 4 flying up a 1400 drone, just wrecking it first flight.
Yeah, or like
I mean, I'd cry.
an actual like camera
The
drone.
professional ones.
Yeah, you know, like a $20,000-$30,000 drone. Just you're going up and crash.
That's what I think is so great about like part of me is super jealous of all the big YouTubers get sponsored by everyone,
Mhm.
but it's just like I can't like I feel happy for them, you know. Like
Yeah.
like every day you go to your PO box or every once a week, and it's just
It's like Christmas.
It's Christmas
It's
every.
crazy. Yeah.
That'd be my dream.
Yeah.
Plus, like I mean, there's also so many great things you could do out of it because. Like you can't use all that stuff. So there's plenty of stuff to give
Yeah,
away.
give away.
You know?
Most-
Well, plus of it, they send 7 of the same thing to you.
Yeah. A lot of companies or a lot of channels I watch, you know, they'll get like 2 laptops or like 2 video cards. One for the review and I guess to keep or to send back, and then one to give away. Because giveaways are fantastic publicity because you know how you enter the giveaway?
Yeah.
You go and follow the company's Facebook page or follow their Twitter, follow their Instagram, leave a comment saying how much you like their new laptop. You know what I mean? Like, it's fantastic publicity because who doesn't want free stuff, you know?
Like I remember Casey did that with some drones, and I even participated in that, and I never participate in that stuff because
Yeah.
it was something very simple. All I had to do was comment on a picture.
Yeah,
Hey,
stuff like that.
why you would want the drone and why it would help you, and I guess your name or something like that. And although that doesn't, it's not some big spam thing. Go out and tag 14 people in this thing, or
Yeah.
go out and post this same picture so you can get put on everyone's feed. It's not annoying, but at the same time, it's just something simple. And Casey didn't need 4 drones at the time, so he gave them all away.
Yeah.
He had 5 on him already.
Yeah, it's
And
stuff
then
like that.
At a point, it becomes just a tool for you, so it's not as big
Mhm.
of a deal. But for people who they can't afford, a half decent microphone, all they've got is what's on their phone. They don't have any programming or software.
Mhm.
That is the biggest thing ever for them.
Yeah.
And I remember the winners of that were people who are running missions trips and stuff, and would need it for making videos, and so that's pretty cool.
So he didn't actually do it like random. He legitimately like looked at the reasons.
No, I'm pretty sure he did it random, but
Huh.
I don't know how much of that became random because there seemed like there was good stories behind it too.
Yeah. It's not gonna be given to the guy who's like,
This
I already have one, but hey, it's free.
that or just no response. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just a space in your comment.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Well, do you have any topics or anything that's been interesting you?
I don't know. Jeez, I don't know. I've talked about YouTube a lot, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Kind of Inception. Talking about YouTube and YouTube.
It is a bit, yeah.
Kind of the biggest topic.
How do you feel about YouTube Red?
I personally hate YouTube Red
Yeah?
because
It's a bit of a dicey topic here.
true. It's like, hey, we're starting out YouTube. We would love for
Yeah.
YouTube to accept us and to help us. But I think it's fine because, I don't know how many big YouTubers have talked trash about YouTube Red,
I know.
They've spoken their opinion.
I like it in a way. Like, it's very convenient if it's just another subscription service. Like, if I'm on Android, I would use, well, I guess I could on iPhone too, Google Play Music instead of Spotify. And then that is included in YouTube Red. So you get all this premium YouTube, you get Spotify. It's almost like a Netflix for YouTube and stuff, and it's all wrapped up in this little nice package. You know, you get exclusive content. So that's kind of nice. But on the other hand, you can start to abuse it when instead of exclusive content, it becomes content is exclusive. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, it's not, here's our normal content. If you have YouTube Red, you can watch this. It's more, if you want to watch this, you have to have YouTube Red. Like College Humor recently, every other video is like a trailer for a YouTube Red series. And I'm like, man, I don't really even care. I mean, I like watching these 2, 3, 4 minute funny clips, but I mean, I don't want to pay to watch a whole series or something, you know?
My biggest problem with it is if you just isolate what is going on, you know, every big company is doing that because it's just another money-making thing.
Yeah.
But to me, what bothers me the most is for the past, like, 5 years or so, you know, YouTube's been around for 11 years, but it's not until the past, like, 7 years or so YouTube really knew what it was. And for me, I've only been watching for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. YouTube is what everyone knows YouTube to be. It's just the quick videos, the big-time YouTubers, ease of access. Maybe you got to skip through an ad.
And it still can be.
YouTube's making tons of money, but you don't really see it. Instead, it's trying to do something like too late in its game that it's just not. Like, nothing was broke. They're making plenty of money, and now they're adding something that's not really getting good publicity, in my opinion.
I mean, so like, I'm on the page right now.
Yeah.
So it's $12.99 a month, which is what I pay for my Hulu with no ads.
That's more than Netflix.
Not anymore. Netflix hiked their price up. Did you know about that?
No, I didn't know.
It's not $8 anymore. It's $12.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's kind of annoying, but not many people know about that. So it's uninterrupted music. So like you can actually like play a video, and then you know like when you press the home button, it stops.
That's convenient, but think about it.
It's nice.
That if YouTube was really going to give back to those who make YouTube, the viewers, the people who, like, I'm sure, I've never complained about that and given a complaint to YouTube or a recommendation, but that, oh my gosh, so many times am I trying to listen to music on a run, but I don't have the song downloaded, I X out of it and just quit. That's something YouTube knows needs to be fixed. And if they just fix that for free, that'd be great.
Yeah.
It's almost like give back to the
But they also,
people.
so that's the background play and offline access, so you can download music as like a MP3 or whatever. I used a trial of YouTube Red. I gotta admit, I really liked it. It was really cool, all the stuff that comes with it, but I feel like they're not pushing it as hard as they were a little bit ago. So you also get ad-free and offline video. It's like you could download a whole playlist of Casey Neistat or Yogscast to watch on a plane, you know?
That's
nice.
That's convenient.
I mean, you can do that now, illegally,
Mhm.
and shadily or whatever. Oh, look at this. The thing is, discover an amplified experience in the YouTube you already know. It's like what you were talking about, you know?
I mean, it'd be nice if they just make that maybe an update.
So that's YouTube, then there's YouTube Music. Listen to personalized stations. And YouTube Gaming. Connect with your favorite gamers without the ads. So I guess that's like a section tailored specifically to gaming YouTubers? I don't know. Oh, here it is. Yeah, that's what it is. That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't expect YouTube to do that when I saw the release of YouTube Red. It wasn't, like, I didn't think YouTube would be the company because, think about, like, there's been almost no changes to YouTube in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
It's always been the same. Like,
I mean,
of course,
they've changed the UI a few
design
times,
changes
yeah.
and maybe the logo and stuff like that. Oh, I know something that's interesting. It's not really an interesting topic because I feel like you'll side with me, but everyone cutting up the YouTube play button. What do you think about that?
Oh, cutting up play buttons?
Yeah, what's inside?
Yeah. Oh, what's inside? That's...
No, we need to be friends with every YouTuber.
So, personally, I don't really care. But that's because I don't really know exactly. You know, I can't really say firsthand. Like, me personally, I'm not the kind of person to do that. I feel like I'd worked hard for that, and that's something I'd want to keep and display, or even just keep on my desk that I can see, knowing, hey, you know, I've made it to 100,000 or whatever it is, 1 million. Or in PewDiePie's case, 10 million, the diamond play button.
Well, you realize he's at like 56 million.
Yeah, but 10 million's the diamond play button.
Yeah. Well, apparently you can get it before 10 million.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, technically you can get it before 10 million. It's kind of informal.
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
It really is informal, actually.
It's
because
like with Silver, they can't give it out to every person who gets like 1,000 subscribers or whatever. 100,000?
100,000.
10,000?
Well, I think they do. I don't think there's that many over 100,000. There's not that many.
Are you sure?
Yeah, really.
Oh, alright, well.
Well, I mean, of course you don't give it out to like the millions of Vivos and junk like that, I'm sure. But I think it's informal because a ton of people get it, like, you know, someone will get their 100,000 play button when they're at like 350, and it's been that long. They take that long. And also, the thing about the 10 million subscribers, the diamond one, is that right?
Yeah, diamond.
Like, they also do it for sort of like achievement. If they feel like you deserve it, but you're not quite 10 million, they also send that kind of stuff out. And apparently there's videos with some YouTubers, like PewDiePie had 2, a couple YouTubers, like one YouTuber had like 3. So,
3 million?
Yeah,
no. 3 diamond play buttons?
3 diamond play buttons for no explained reason. Not like you earn it every 10 million,
I
but
know what you mean.
They just had that, I guess, for maybe resources or
excellence and YouTube content
I was thinking
creatorship.
maybe distribution. You know, like,
I don't know.
Like you go for whatever your needs are.
With cutting it up, it's like if I was to do that, because this is the kind of person I am, I would break it down. I'd be like, okay, this will probably get a lot of views.
It's just
but it's just that's not what I would want to do. I feel like, and it's been overdone. I guess maybe the first little bit, and I guess it makes sense for what's inside because that's what they do. But for just a normal channel, like, oh guys, 100,000, I'm gonna destroy the play button. Oh no, like it's.
This is my problem. I don't have a problem with it for the what's inside. I do have a little bit of problem. Maybe it'd be nice if what's inside, maybe they did this, I just didn't pay attention, if they would contact YouTube and say, hey, could you please send us one for us to destroy and send us one for our personal use so we display it. They might have done that, I don't know, but I don't think they did, and that irritates me.
Although I think the way they did it was cool. You saw it, right? They cut it in half real nicely, grinded it down, put it back in the case, split, and they're what's inside, and I don't know, I like that. It
makes sense for their channel, because that's what they do. But for other channels, like, what I don't get is, why is it still being done when everyone knows, and people still, like, randomly, that'll be recommended.
Destroying my gold play button.
11 million views. I'm like, have you guys not seen that yet? Like, it's been done for about a year now. It's like, don't you realize that there's nothing inside, unfortunately?
Yeah.
It's like, maybe YouTube eventually, when people stop doing it, they're going to start hiding random things inside. But, like, my problem with it is, there's so many, like, when you look at the list of YouTube channels, there's like, I don't know, probably 1 billion at like 0 to 10 subscribers because it's just people who have those personal accounts for like whatever.
Yeah, like mine.
Yeah, like people they have a YouTube account to comment on stuff and they never use it.
Yeah.
And then like the amount of people at 10 million subscribers, 5 million, 1 million, 300,000, 100,000, 50,000, like that. Imagine line just expanding out or like shrinking.
It's like a triangle.
Yeah, it's like a triangle. There's like none up there, but there's so many down low. And so all those people down low who would give like their arm and leg for that play button, that source of achievement, and someone have them destroy it, really like crushes, if you know what I mean. Because it's like kind of disrespectful, I think, to YouTube. Like, here's your achievement.
It is a bit, yeah.
And it's like you're making a lifestyle off this and making money. Destroy your plaque of achievement. Like, people don't do that because people don't do that to their business achievements.
Yeah.
You know, and people
display them.
You know, people get a service worker of the month or whatever, team member of the month or team member of the year.
But I mean, like, that original guy, you know, who destroyed it, it was like still is one of the most disliked videos of all time. But even though it's most disliked, it has a crap ton of views. And if that's all you're worrying about, I mean, you don't technically get penalized for dislikes. Or benefit from likes. It's just views.
That's where I think it's kind of dangerous. Like the game some people play on YouTube with clickbait, and I guess there's an okay use of clickbait. Like, you need to make it interesting to where like the thumbnail and the title needs to make it interesting enough when you click on. Like, but it can't be false advertising. Oh, this is actually a story that I watched a video on the original YouTube, and so that's why I said earlier that YouTube finally found itself 5 to 7 years ago, because before that, right when YouTube started, people were like, what is this? I upload videos and, you know, it's so foreign and alien to them.
Any idea.
So what people would do, they found out about clickbait. People would just put, you know, something pornographic on there, and it's literally just a video of someone cooking an egg, and it's nothing. But then people would get, you know, 5 million views on that because it's just got, you know, some pornographic image on there. So that was the big clickbait. So I think the problem is like there needs to be a sense of dignity within YouTubers, the ones who make money off of it, to not use your subscribers or those who view your videos as sort of like a means to an end to make money. Like views are everything. That's why I think it's important for people to have the attitude, oh, I do this for fun, and even if I went back down to 100 subscribers that I had 3 years ago, I would still be doing this.
Yeah, with like what you're talking about, the clickbait, like some of the articles, like like dermatologists hate her or whatever, or like take this one, like I saw the funniest thing is like secret pill billionaires have been taking or whatever, and it is literally a screenshot from the movie Limitless. Do you know that movie? Where he takes a pill to expand his brain.
Yep.
It's literally a screenshot from the movie, like him holding it in his hand.
That's
like
funny.
They're ridiculous. Or like this guy gained 40 pounds of pure muscle in 2 weeks or whatever.
Magazines.
Or yeah, it's just ridiculous. And I was looking up this story on Eric Clapton, and it happened to be on TMZ, and across the top and both sides was like basically naked girls, and it's like, check out this gallery and see if you can guess whose bikini bottoms these are or whatever, like bikini booties and stuff, or like fashion designer just went out in this nice black thing, like bikini, and it's just like, I'm trying to read this article like it's this wide.
Yeah, like
and it's just like
three inches wide on your
there.
and your 40-inch wide screen.
I mean, I hate I hate to do it, but I do use ad block on pages like that. Like I try not to on YouTube videos because I like to support content creators. But for like stuff like that, like TMZ or pop-up ads, in your face and annoying. You know what I mean?
Another question I have is what is like a true entrepreneur, or what does it take to become a true entrepreneur? Because now like that word, in my opinion, is so overdone. Like that's sort of the new title.
Yeah,
like,
very diluted.
It's at first it's like it sounded kind of hipster, like
yeah,
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business guy. I'm going to the business degree. But now like you can claim a title of an entrepreneur and pretty much just be a business guy going to any business. Like earlier.
That's exactly what it is.
Really.
I just looked up the definition. Noun: a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, usually taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. So it has to do with the risk, I guess.
Yeah, but
like if you're a business owner who inherited a ton of money from your dad and created a technology business, whereas you filed your mortgage, sold your house, and put everything you had into your product, I guess that makes you a true entrepreneur, according to the dictionary.
Like, to me, that word had been totally diluted to inventor.
Yeah.
Like, that was the misconception.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, I'm an inventor, or I am a start from scratch. Like, people don't necessarily start from scratch. It's like, maybe I'm part of a small startup or a small company, but I think entrepreneur has been, like, used quite a bit. Like, there's not really true inventors nowadays with everything being invented, or so it seems. I guess that's the mindset of someone who's not an inventor, but, I mean, I don't know how many things have been truly invented.
You could come up with something.
Well, I mean, it's like we talked about, like, everything's part of
an
categories.
improvement on something.
Everything's just an improvement. There's no...
there's
cars, there's automobiles. Here are many categories and brands of cars are. There's media forms. There's, appliances. All that is just
that's such a broad category. Like, if you say appliances and you create... Like, I saw, a toaster with... it uses glass heating elements on both sides. Clear glass. So you can see your toast as it's happening. Because the... a thermal wire is in the glass. I'd say that's still inventing. Maybe not the toaster itself, but the glass. Like, the thermal heating elements in glass. That kind of thing. I don't think you have to invent a new category to be considered an inventor. You just have to invent something that hasn't been done yet.
Although there's not going to be any more Edisons or Fords, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, well, definitely.
For sure. I mean, maybe there will be.
I mean,
we'll be surprised.
We'll have a Musk. I mean, people may look back, I mean, he's literally launching rockets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cool, but there's some problems going on with him right now.
Also, with, the explosion of technology, I hope people realize, this increase in technology has not been going on. That's been going on for the past,
5-10 years?
5-10 years?
Yeah.
Like, I can remember times where there weren't cell phones.
I think the first iPhone came out in 2006.
Yeah, something like that. Or, like, flip phones.
2005,
Flip phones weren't...
maybe.
Mobile phones weren't around. Talk to your parents, talk to your grandparents.
Yeah.
There was life before that.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago people carried around phones in briefcases.
Or that people walked around with no phones.
Yeah. I mean, that was like a luxury, like businessmen,
Mhm.
super businessmen, high class, high level, walked around with phones. But it's been a very large surge. And I think it's slowed down pretty recently in the past few years. In terms of going from nothing to what we have, now we're more improving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we went from flip phone to touchscreen. And in 10 years, we've gone from touchscreen to
Better touch.
really good touchscreen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, I guess you can't really go much further than that, but technically, like, you do almost reach a point where innovation is no longer an option. You know what I mean? Like, even in, like, our minds can now comprehend stuff. Like, in movies, some of the stuff is so futuristic. Like, even if we had that now, what more is there past that? We can think about it, too. Like, what if everything was in our minds? Like, all computer were in our brains. There's nothing past that, right?
That makes for a good topic. The good lead to a topic is AI.
Yeah,
that's the new science
that's
obsession.
big lately. Creating consciousness.
Yeah, people. They've pretty much got everything checked off on the checklist except for being able to take the human consciousness or the human soul and transfer that. Probably because it's intransferable, but they're gonna keep trying. For now,
I haven't done it yet.
Yet, that's the big word. And science is always improving upon itself. You know, it's always completely correct until someone comes along and proves it wrong the next year.
Correct until proven incorrect.
Yeah, that's a good fallacy. You can't prove it right or wrong.
Fallacy of ignorance, right?
I think so.
I think that's what it is. Ad ignorantium.
My next question is kind of way off from everything else that we've been talking about, but it's talking about the school format. And it's a discussion I had with Mr. Leland, our philosophy teacher, earlier ago. Is basically, we got our schooling format kind of disturbingly enough from Prussia, from like pretty much the way Hitler made up the schooling format.
Really?
Yeah, like
elementary, middle, high. Is what you mean?
Well, even simpler than that. Basically, he made his schooling format best for just child indoctrination. You got the ringing of the bells. That was for the Industrial Revolution. So because just like the factories, they'd be ringing their bells to change shifts and move on from place to place.
Pavlov's
you have people categorized like to one teacher, to two teachers in certain age groups and classes to only discuss one certain class at a certain time.
Yeah.
When in reality, back thousands of years ago, with ancient Rome and the Greeks and stuff like that,
it was like you went to school and you had discourse.
No, yeah,
all day,
and it was over every single course over the arts, and the arts are taught anymore except through a little bit in some public schools and only like classical schools, or some private schools teach some of the arts. But what I was talking about, what I want to talk about is what would you think if that form was rejected a little bit and you combine some of the different age groups? Because I know one thing that we'll be doing at school is we're going to have one class, I think one class for maybe an hour, a couple hours, like once a week or maybe twice a week, where the whole upper school comes together. Yeah, this is with the philosophy teacher.
Are you serious?
Yep.
All right.
And we're all going to come together and have a class.
I don't like that.
You don't like it?
I don't. I gotta be honest. It's just I feel when you think about it worked in ancient Greek times, but they didn't have. I mean, we go to a very small school, but still, back in the ancient Greek times, the upper school in quotation marks would maybe be like 20 people, maybe.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. You can't have a genuine, good discourse or like a conversation about stuff like that with. I mean, I'd say max 15, maybe 20 people. I guess your class does it, but it's really only like 8 people doing it, right? The whole class isn't talking.
Well, really, it's even smaller than that. It's
the
people who really care.
Exactly. I feel like that's going to be a disaster. It's just going to be like chapel.
Yeah, it might be. But also, I mean, the thing is, like, for us, since we're older, junior and seniors, like, it probably won't have as much as an effect on us because
Yeah.
we don't have much to feed off of for the younger kids. It might help the younger kids a lot, because then they can hear what we have to say and kind of feed off of like our maturity and the way we handle ourselves. It was just an interesting thought I had, how would that affect
Yeah.
things. And also, even the way school was viewed thousands of years ago, that was for only the richest of the rich. Like,
Yeah.
that was
I
the
about to say
biggest
something like
privilege
that.
to be intelligent, to have knowledge. Now people do nothing but complain about school.
Yeah.
Like, to the point it's just
But,
irritable.
I mean, honestly, with good reason sometimes. I mean, school was somewhat enjoyable back then. You legitimately learned rather than reading a piece of paper and then telling your teacher what was on
Yeah.
that piece of paper without looking.
It does come down to the form of your school, especially with busy work, when things are just given to you to work on that have no real value.
Yeah.
And with, like, when you're never taught to have a love for education or a reason why you should love it. And a lot of people just have the view of college and high school and even further in your college education as just a means to an end. I go to high school, get my high school diploma, then go to college, get my degree so I can get a job and work the 9 to 5 so I can raise a family and afford a nice car, a nice house. Like, that's so horrible.
Yeah.
Like, I guess
Knowledge.
knowledge. Yeah.
Knowledge.
Like, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, that life is
But
miserable.
it's with good reason. I mean, school can be miserable for some people. Like, honestly, some of my classes are just so boring and so useless to me that I feel they're completely pointless. Like, I enjoy learning. I'm not the kind of person who's like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Like, I enjoy legitimately absorbing information and learning it. But when it gets to the point where it's just, like you said, busy work or working for the sake of working, that's I don't like that at all.
Mm-hmm. And it really affects people's attitudes. And that
Definitely.
really boils over into, like, the way people act in society where everyone is relying on the government. Like, the government is not your daddy here's your cash machine. And, like, I can't remember, some president had some quote off of a meeting he had. Someone asked him this question, like, how can you not be funding more to, like, the welfare issue? And it was directed more at a specific welfare need, because I know there are people who do need welfare because of certain situations. Like, not trying to sound ignorant of any of that, but this is like an older president. He had, like, the best response is like, excuse me, I think you have the wrong idea of who I am. I'm not your daddy. Like, this is to another grown man, and it was great. Like, you totally put him in his place.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's interesting. Like, the people who are so anti-government, they're attacking the government, they hate it, they're rioting, they're on marches, are the ones, like, surviving because of the government,
Yeah.
That's kind of dangerous territory to talk, but don't care. Another topic is,
What are we at now, time-wise? Like 2 hours?
no, 1 hour.
Oh,
1 hour,
okay.
1 minute.
Well, that's not bad. We could go...
I figure we take it to 1 hour 15, 1 hour 30.
Yeah, we could do another topic and then
Yeah.
find some way to close.
I like 2 more topics, and they're short topics.
Alright.
One is, like, being banned for video games. Because
Banned
just recently...
For video games?
No, being banned in video games,
Oh.
for leaving it. What your
stuff
thought was
like
on that?
Yeah.
Because it's like, it could be a hassle if it was something accidental, or just some kind of mix-up and you just got banned for an hour, banned for whatever.
Well, like in
But there are really good uses of that for people who do abuse the game.
CSGO, like what me and Jax were playing, when you play, I mean, you can play casual, right? If you just want to hop in and play some, and there's no penalty for leaving a game. But competitive is like you commit to like up to an hour long of a game. And you have to be ready to that because everyone else in the lobby has made the same commitment. You are all have made a joint commitment to play and finish this game. It's a competitive game. It's not, I mean, it's fun, but it's not fun at games. You know what I mean? It's legitimate. I mean, as much as it can be without being a actual competition, like an esport tournament, but leaving it ruins the game for everyone. Like in Overwatch, in competitive, when someone leaves, the game ends.
You've lost.
No one loses, no one wins.
Oh,
because
the game does end.
Yeah, like you get a little message. It says, "Player X has left. Match will be ending soon unless rejoined in 20 seconds." And if they don't, that's it. Game's over. Because, I mean, in a game like Overwatch, you are so dependent on your team and the workings of your team. One person gone, you mean you're gonna lose. You know?
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. But, like, you were saying, the penalties can be pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've lowered it on CSGO. But Jackson left the game a while ago because he had to, like, go somewhere. And you're banned for, like, a week or something like that. Or, like, 3 days. Now I think it's 24 hours or something like that. Like, ridiculous. I mean, like, and you're not allowed to play or whatever. And But now it's exponential. Like, you quit the first time. It's 24 hours. The second, 2 days. Second, 3 days. Fourth, you know, it goes on. But it's that kind of thing, you know, you commit to a game and it's directly disrespectful, like, blatantly disrespectful to the other people who've made the same commitment, in a way.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's the same way we just set aside time for the podcast where we know it'd be interrupted.
Yeah. It's like me saying, alright, I'm going to do this podcast with you. Oh, shoot. I actually have to be somewhere. Do you think you can do this on your own?
Or we just don't think through it enough to where we have to be called away or something emergency.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, I've had to pee so bad for the past, like, 30 minutes.
you have to lay out a time, you know? Yeah. I'm going to do this in this time. No interruptions.
To be, like, not to get, you know, promote video games that much, but it is a good, like, discipline, if you know what I mean. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good, like, business discipline that you know that you're going to take it that seriously.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, there are better ways to spend your time, but I gotta think about, like, YouTubers and people who do it for a living, play those competitive games. Yeah. Imagine if they messed up. You have to make a whole other account and play from there.
Seriously.
Because, I mean, you gotta upload to your fans.
It's ridiculous. I don't know, it's crazy. Stuff like that being banned for leaving. But it makes sense, in my opinion.
The last thing I have is, like, what makes top movies the top movies, because all the top movie list, you know, the IMDb, like 250 top list, and respectively, of course, because everyone would agree, it's all filled up with these 70s, 80s, 90s movies that are classics. And it's not just because they're old and classic and nostalgic, it's because they're made in different ways.
Like The Departed.
Yeah.
That was just great storytelling.
That's only 10 years old.
Great drama. Exactly. But it was just such a... Like, compared to some of the stuff that's in movies today, the story was just so good. It was like the cat and the mouse, or the cat in a mouse mask and the mouse in the cat mask.
Yeah.
It's... I mean, that's a good movie. And The Usual Suspects. Mm-hmm. That's also 90s. I really like 90s movies, as you can tell.
Movies just aren't made that way. Like,
yeah,
it's rare that these big box office hits are like... I mean, I wouldn't watch many of these Marvel movies 2 times over, you know?
Yeah.
Because all these superhero movies, they have the same plot. They all, like... They pretty much have the same plot. Or, how about this? Maybe the plot's not that bad, but once you're revealed... or once the ending happens, or you know what I mean, like there's like the climax point of every movie.
Mm-hmm.
Once that happens and you revealed it, that
it's kind of similar.
It's kind of like, you know, every time you go and watch a movie, it's hard for me to word this, but even though you've seen like classic movies 10 times and you know exactly what's going to happen, the movie is so enjoyable and so great up until that point. Like The Departed, there's so much twists and turns that when you go back, you have to go back and watch it because you still don't even understand it.
Yeah.
Like in
Good. Those are good movies. All the old movies we go back and watch.
Interstellar.
Yeah.
Will you finish it? The Hateful Eight is a recent one.
And you just have to talk about it with someone. Yeah. Like, we finished the movie, like, and we all sit around, like the 6 or 7 of us or whatever, and talk about it for like 40 minutes. You know what I mean? 45 minutes about how, like, what was it? We watched No Country for Old Men the other day. There was no explanation to the ending at all. You have to think about it, talk about it, look it up, you know. Shutter Island is another one like that.
Yeah, I remember after I watched Interstellar and we went up to the mountains, remember we kept running through explanations of the plot of that. I've watched that probably, I think, 4 or 5 times, and still I'm still revealed like stuff. No, this is why it makes all makes sense.
Like honestly, my favorite part about Marvel movies is not as much the movies and the storyline of the movies, but the storyline of Marvel. Like I love
it's all intertwined.
Digging into the stuff. Like the Marvel storyline is awesome, but I know the movies aren't going to follow the comics exactly how they were, because they just, I guess they can't for whatever reason. I guess they want to kind of be different, you know, break off, blaze their own trail. But I love like finishing it and being like, okay, guys, so Thanos is actually this and has this, you know, like. Yeah. I just love that. That
Film Theory does a really good job at that.
Yeah.
Like he was doing something on some superheroes and going to the comics and realizing that there's a ton more powers that some of the superheroes have that aren't really explored in the movies, but at the same time he sort of found hints at how they kind of were explored in movies, but you never even seen it. Like Spider-Man.
I love stuff like that.
Like I really like that.
Like some of its continuation, like nothing I'm saying right now is true at all, but this is like an idea of something that I think had happened. Like, so say the Quicksilver comic, right? At the end of one of the comics or whatever, he's found like in his mom's basement, you know, and then like that's exactly where the movie picks up from, if you know what I mean. Like that's not how it works, but that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like the comics like leave them in a location like, and Spider-Man was left to roam New York City or whatever, and that's where they find him, you know, fighting crime or whatever. I don't know, I just love stuff like that.
So any topics you thought of? Anything came up?
No, I'm not good at that on the fly, really.
Yeah. Really good to just think about stuff. Like, I'll literally just be like listening to Young Potterson on their podcast.
Yeah.
Or just like driving. Driving is the best thing. Driving or running. Things that you're doing, like, you're doing almost nothing, but you still have to be active. Those are the best times.
Yeah.
Like, right when I just come up with the topic, I just write in the notes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say we put it close to this.
Yeah.
Definitely enjoyed it. It definitely took a more serious turn.
Yeah.
I thought there'd be lots of comedy and laughing and jokes and making fun of each other.
Maybe it will be next time.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be because...
I don't know.
I mean, we recorded this from 2:30 to 3:30 in the morning. So
yeah, it's now 3:34 in the morning.
I say it's a pretty serious time if you're...
Well, so... I don't know if we can really do this. We don't have very many people. But,
I'll let you do an outro if you want to.
Comment anything you want to suggest. If you like it serious or if you'd like it more comedic. Because I guess we could do that too. If you like the mic quality or if you think there's something we could do to make it better, that'd be awesome too. Just any suggestions, really. We're totally open. We have nothing set in stone, really. We just kind of wanted to do this, see if we could have some fun while we're doing it. Maybe entertain some of you guys with our conversations. So, I'd say that's about it.
I've got something to add.
Yeah?
Basically, the great thing about it just starting out is it makes it very open-ended. It can take any direction.
Take completely different turns.
Things that Cameron and I guess my name is Mason, in case you never picked up on that. Things that we share the same common interest in are gaming and technology, and I guess philosophy and these kind of discussions. So anything in that field is...
Yeah. I mean, we've always thought about, it'd be cool to have like a gaming commentary channel or a tech review channel, which we may still do, but maybe in between those videos we have a little conversational podcast. I don't know. You could tell us what you think about that. Or if you'd like us to just do gaming or just do tech, that's fine too. We don't have to do a podcast. I mean,
maybe not.
We're still going to have the conversations, so if you want to hear them, you can. But yeah, I'd say that's about it. If you don't have anything else to say.
No,
we could finish on that. All right, well.
Till the next podcast.
Guess we'll see you next time, yep.
Yep, tune in for next podcast. And we don't have we have a very unofficial dating right now for when things will come out. They come out weekly.
No timetable.
No timetable, so hopefully that will come soon.
Yep.
All right.